We want to welcome everybody to the Hoop Chat. The Hoop Chat. Excited about this topic right here, dog. Let's go. I learned how to win in college. Process, right? Absolutely. Separate the men from the boys. It will separate the real from the fake. It will separate the committed from the uncommitted. Who really loves the game and who really don't. Your network equals your net worth. 25 years of experience. Oh man, yeah. Let's get to work. Let's get to work.
Let's get to work.
Do it.
Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of the Hoop Chat, where we bring you the real of all aspects of the game. We're your host. I'm Coach Nelly.
And I'm Mar.
And the Hoop Chat is brought to you by Mars Bebo and Wayne's World. And if you don't mind, we appreciate you if you go hit that like and subscribe button, and please help us grow.
Yeah, man, we trying to get our followers up so we can keep providing y'all this real content for you to grow, learn, and provide that value all the time.
Facts. We have a great lineup for today's show, and you already know. Let's get to work.
Yes, sir.
But first, man, I got to ask you, how you doing, bro? How was your week?
I'm doing good, man. With the snow here in Jersey, it just was crazy with I'm on the street side of parking and stuff like that. So just shoveling, and it's interesting some things that have come up over that time. Just the lack of community in terms of people, helping one another. You see a lot of selfishness. You see a lot of people
Right.
about themselves in moments like this. And I would encourage people to be more communal, because we all need easier ways to get ourselves to and from in this weather. So, man, help somebody out, man. Shovel some snow, put the snow in the right place. Don't just throw it anywhere. Don't throw it back in the street so somebody gets plowed in. Just little stuff like that, man. Just, help out, man. If you're a younger man, please make sure that if you got older neighbors, that you knock on their door and you make sure that you help them out and take care of them. You will want somebody, your grandma.
Check on your elderly people. Check on your elderly.
Make sure that you're doing that. So throughout that time, man. But other than that, man, real good week, man. No complaints. Got an opportunity to watch a lot of high school basketball, and I mean, man, some of y'all kids got fall back, man. I can't watch 4 games in one time, So, but I like it. I really, I like what my players are doing, and it was a great opportunity this week to kind of sit back and get an opportunity to just watch them play and see what they're doing. So.
Right.
How about yours, man? Your week. You got a big day. This is a big day coming up.
Yeah, man. I mean, my week's been good. The same, like just been soaking in all this high school basketball now that the season has started. Just same as you, clicking on, players I've worked with just to watch, and see what they're doing, and really just watching as much as I can. So it's good, man. Like you said, y'all got to fall back because I can't watch everybody's game at 7:00. I will do my best to get to everybody that has asked me to watch and come and, and give them a new set of eyes, or, if my players want me just to check them out. And some of you I've missed, but you know what I mean? I will get caught up, and I will get a chance to watch you guys play. Other than that, man, the week's been good. We had our first snowfall of the season this week. So, I got to take baby girl outside and let her experience, her first real snow. And she was out there having a blast.
Oh, she loved it.
Loving it, bro. Loving it. And she don't want to wear her gloves. She want the snow in her hands. She want to feel it.
Yeah.
She want to throw it,
Right.
And then, like you said, big day coming up. She's about to be 2 on Monday. Tomorrow.
Moving on.
I gotta be about to have a 2-year-old, and I love it, man. She's
That's great stuff.
Full of energy, life. She's fearless. Love that little girl, man.
Word up.
But just want to give a quick shout out before we hop into the show. Want to give a huge shout out to my brother for getting his first career win as a head coach at ACIT. So congrats to him.
Got the dub.
Got the dub. first of many. I know how it feels when you get your first dub. I know the nerves that come before that game.
Mhm.
But congratulations to him, man. That's a big accomplishment, and we wish you nothing but the best. And just keep growing and keep getting better, man.
Word up.
So let's hop into some topics that we got for you today. Let's start off with some NBA talk.
Oh, let's do it.
What's going on around in the league right now? You know what I mean? Who you like so far? I mean, we about, I guess a third done of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten to see a lot of the NBA, the players, the teams. Who you got as front runners? Just give me the overall. I don't got to be East, West. I mean, you can break it down that way, but what you like?
I was going to go down. For the East, I'm going to say, obviously, Brooklyn, Philly, Milwaukee, and Miami. I'm going to go with the Heat. I know that there's some others who are may have a better record at the time. But you got to take into consideration there's been some injuries with the Heat, and you just can't count them out. After what you've seen them go through in the bubble, you know that they're a solid team. They'll be there in the end. In the West is crazy. There is a real from 5th through 10th. That's going to be like murderer's row. But I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with the Lake Show at the top. I'm going to go with that team that's in the basement.
The little brothers.
Yeah.
The little brothers.
I mean, shoot, we shooting this pod at a certain time where the Jazz has just been really balling. So you might call me a prisoner at the moment, but I'm gonna throw them in there. I'm gonna also throw in Denver. I think that's a team that will make a trade to bolster some scoring for them. So Jamal Murray won't have to do so much and carry so much. And Jokic, that man is amazing, man.
That man has been balling.
Great, phenomenal player. I mean, he will be
balling
in the era of like European players being questioned in terms of their toughness and things of that nature. When you got that beast, he gonna be around the league for a long time, and that skill set. I just think he is a tremendous asset and something that the rest of the league has to deal with, man.
Right.
So that's why I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
What say you?
I'm gonna start in the West. I mean, I obviously being a Laker fan, they have been balling, and more so for them, the Lakers on the defensive side of the ball just have been clamping teams down. When they're all locked in. I mean, they're the only team that has consecutively held teams to under 90 points.
You got
nobody else.
Credit, man.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Was doing it in Indiana, and he brought it back on over there to the Lake Show. High efficiency, so pay attention to that.
Right.
We'll give LeBron all the credit. You got to give Frankie V some credit.
Absolutely. You knew what you were getting when he came to LA, and he's lived up to that, right? He's that defensive minded guy. Yeah, we all know the little brothers in the basement. Always they are playing well. I'm just not a believer in them. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. I like the Suns. I think they're the dark horse in the West. I think when they are playing very well, they are one of the best teams in the league. They're hard to guard. They got size. I mean, they got an amazing scorer and player, Devin Booker, and I mean, they got the dog at the head of the leash with CP3, and he's been having some really good games. I know his mentorship and leadership has been exactly what that team needed. I mean, and then when you got a head coach like Monty Williams, like the recipe's starting to come together. So I really like them, man. I think they're a sleeper. They're definitely a team I wouldn't want to see first round in the playoffs. I like them. And listen, I know they lost last night, and they might be the 8th seed, but I really like Golden State, man. I like who they're becoming. I like who they're becoming. I think they're starting to find their identity. I also think for Steph, there's some kind of release of pressure. There's no real pressure on this year that you got to go out and win a championship. You've been to the finals 5. I think that has taken a step back. They're trying to find out where the organization is going. Obviously, they don't have Klay Thompson. So when I watch him play this year, I can see the fun has come back to the game for him.
Also,
a lot.
Well, look, you have to understand something. Steph is trying to prove something. While he may
Absolutely.
not be trying to prove that he's vying for a championship, he's trying to prove and let people know who he is. Like, yo,
Absolutely.
I'm that guy. Like,
He out here.
don't play with my name. Yeah, don't play with my name. You know my body. You know my
Right.
body.
Absolutely. And
What I will say about that team, which is interesting, and I've been watching this person throughout the start of the season, and I think that they finally have gotten over what transpired, and I think that they're understanding their footing with this particular squad, and they're
I
really
know what you're gonna say.
Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
I think that initially the trade from Phoenix to Golden State was shocking for him because I think he found footing in Phoenix. I think he liked to play with the young boys of D Book and DeAndre Ayton.
Right.
And I think that kind of jarred him, and to go into this situation as a replacement for Clay, because Clay went down. I think he kind of came in like, shit, I gotta be Clay. I gotta hit three.
Right.
This guy, and as you can see now, he catching bodies left and right. He doing what he
on dudes.
doing what he do with that left hand. Yo,
Right.
I need to stop jumping when he's left-handed, bro.
Right.
Like he right-handed. he keep
Right.
putting.
You will be on his poster.
He keep giving out helmets, and he body giving out helmets. It's
Right.
not catching alley-oops on some pick and roll stuff. He catching it and going straight up vert left hand banging on people. But I think that he understands what he needs to do. He brings the defensive intensity, sets the tone for them, especially when it comes to the better scores that they're going to go up against. I think pushing Andrew Wiggins to step up his game on the defensive end.
He's been playing pretty well too, man.
Yes. And I just think that, listen, man, when you got Draymond barking on you all day long, you're going to figure it out very quickly what you need.
Right.
Otherwise, you just ain't going to be there for long.
Right.
I just wanted to give that person some recognition because I've definitely watched throughout this young season him really kind of find his footing in this place.
Right. So those are my teams in the West. Those are my 4 teams that I really like. In the East, I like Philly. I like Milwaukee. I like I do like the Heat. I just need, obviously what we saw last year in the bubble was tremendous from what they did. I know they've been dealing with injuries and they've had guys out due to COVID, so they haven't really had the time to gel. I like Boston. Yeah. I like Boston a lot. Yeah, I do. I think they're to me, they might be the best team in the East right now. I'm gonna say right now. Because Brooklyn's still figuring it out. And again, they're dealing with the same thing. Can't get consistency with guys being on the court together, so they're still learning, figuring those things out. Obviously, I got to throw Brooklyn in there. So for me, Philly, Brooklyn, Boston, and my sleeper. To me, Milwaukee's the same old Milwaukee. You know what I mean? For me, my sleeper is the Charlotte Hornets. Don't sleep on them. They're a scary team to play in the first round too. You don't want to see them. You don't want to see them in the first round.
Here's where I'm gonna disagree with you. I think with Charlotte, there's a couple issues with Charlotte. In a playoff scenario and series, we ain't really seen nothing from Gordon Hayward like that.
Right.
And then can Mikal Bridges, can he be that guy outside of LaMelo creating a lot? I mean, he's a great in-game dunker, but is he a guy in the playoff series when plays don't work because they've scouted everything that you can do?
Right.
Can he manufacture, you know what I'm saying, buckets for himself to help his team? Because you put LaMelo in a pick and roll, bro. It is.
He's a pick and roll guru.
Maestro, bro.
He's a maestro.
And he is. For all you young players out there, you need to really take a page out of his book and see what he does when he comes off the screen. How does he attack? Where is his shoulder? Right. Where is his vision? What
pace? All that, right?
All of that, man. Because
step
into the league and be so successful at that aspect of the game. I think one of the things that gets overlooked when players get drafted is commentators in their conversation leading up to him going to go put the hat on and all of that. They talk about strengths and weaknesses. And one of they said when they drafted him, his pick and roll ability is a major reason why he's so high on the draft board, because he's able to navigate the pick and roll, not himself, but really be able to facilitate offense. He really that either hitting that roll guy, the screener himself, or finding the other parts and pieces. And I mean, you see the coaches just kind of like, yo, they started off trying to kind of box him, and now they just like, what? Go ahead.
Do you think? But look at that. I mean, they've been winning. They've been way more competitive since the move. Yeah, I agree with you. They do lack that playoff experience guy, because Gordon hasn't really been there. He's been injured. But they also do have some dogs. Like I still think the experience that Gordon Hayward has helps that team. They also got Terry Rozier. You know, he's a dog, bro. He's a dog.
And so is Devontae Graham.
Right. So, like I said, man, like that would have to be determined to see what would happen in the playoffs. But I just think they're one of those teams, like, because they're so young and they don't care and they don't really care. They're gonna play hard. And they're going to feel like, yo, you're going to have to guard us. You know what I mean? Like, that's the mentality they've been playing with. And I like them. I think they're a sleeper in the East, man.
Good outside pick, man, to get a little risque. I'm with
you.
You
know.
That AFC, that means that they're a legitimate playoff team.
Absolutely.
Deep into the AFC, you don't want to see them first round and just get those boys. They young, they excited.
Right. Excited, right.
They win a game or two. Now you in the series for real, fighting for your life now. So
right.
Right. Let's transition into the level a little bit lower, man. We talk about the college section, the college basketball, right?
Right.
One of the things that, you know, we always want to celebrate home team. We both from Jersey. We know what it is in the college landscape of Jersey. We understand our state and how our state is structured, whereas there's not a whole lot of Division I schools here.
Right.
And we got quite a few. But what I want to talk about is how New Jersey is carrying college basketball. You know, from the Sharif Coopers, from the Devon Quinterleys to, you know, Isaiah Wong down in Miami. You know, you got Ron Harper Jr. At Rutgers. You know, you just got a tremendous amount. If I'm forgetting anybody, you know, please, you know what I mean? Don't be offended. It's just off the top right now, names that I could think about, because it's really
right.
What do you think about that, man? What do you think about New Jersey and college basketball and seeing those guys?
What do they say? Jersey guards are just built different.
Yeah.
Jersey players are just built different. I mean, you see it. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, we've got players all over the country standing out. You know what I mean? Doing their thing, carrying their respective teams, or being part of being one of the main reasons why their teams are successful. You know what I mean? And it just is what it is. Jersey guards are built different. It's just, you know, it's what it is. If you're one of those guys from Jersey that is an elite player, it's, yo, you're going to go hoop somewhere and make a name and represent Jersey.
Yeah.
I even got to give a shout out to a kid that played in the Olympic Conference last year. Actually, there's two of them. Matthew Hatton. He's at, I mean, it's not big D1, but he's D1 killing it. Yale.
Okay.
And the kid from Shawnee, Dino, is at Cornell. And there are another two Jersey dudes that are out here. You know, you don't get to see them as much because they're not the name brand college basketball teams, but they're D1 putting work in. Again, Jersey guard.
Now you just bringing up that I got G Marco at Delaware. He's doing his thing, man. So, you know,
right.
Across the board, and that's what's interesting is not everybody is Power 5. I mean, you got Josh Pierre out at Santa Barbara. You have Hodges. You got dang, I'm just thinking off the top. I mean, and there's a gym sitting on somebody's bench that I got to give him a lot of credit, man, for what he's had to deal with going into it, being his freshman year and being a top 20 kid, being a top 10 shooter in the country last year in high school. I want to give a shout out to CJ Wilshire, man. He's dealing with coming off the bench. And recently I seen this post on him that somebody said, you know, he's the first guy off the bench. He's always giving his team, you know, cheering and just showing leadership from that angle and handling not being a starter or not being the guy, and he's doing it the right way. You know, he's never, you know, about me sulking and everything. He's the first guy off the bench cheering guys on. And when he's getting his opportunities, he's cashing in on the opportunity that's been given to him. And that shows a level of maturity that's super duper important. You know, sometimes things just ain't go your way, no matter what your ranking is and different things like that. And you see far too many kids tuck their tail and run or blame someone else. And this kid has chosen to show the mature aspect of it and say, you know what, cool, I'm going to keep working hard every day and I'm going to be a consummate pro. That means I'm going to be ready when you call my number to go out and perform and do what I got to do. And he's been able to do that. So I just want to give him some credit because, you know, mentally, you know, that's tough. It's tough, man. You were a top 10 shooter in the country last year. Now you're coming off the bench for a school who needs you to be shooting. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
That, man. Also, I want to shout out my man at Seton Hall. Man, you know he got the long name. That's all. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I watched this. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, though, right? I don't want to butcher his name out of respect, the boy. I don't want to do that.
I feel you.
But
don't look at me because I will butcher somebody's name real quick, so I'm not gonna say it.
To that man, but talk about him because you know a lot of people had a lot of conversation about whether or not he was actually that good, or was it Miles Powell? Was it Miles Powell drawing all the and him just kind of eating? And as you see in Miles' absence, he's been able to carry his team and put his team in position to win some games against some really, really good competition. And at one point,
my man Sandro,
yeah, they were ranked at one point.
Yeah, they were.
And you know, I like to see that growth in players. I like to see them take that next step. You know, you get kids who go into a crop and they may not be the main guy, and they may have two other main guys, and then those guys move on, whether they go to the league or they graduate, and now it's your turn. And he's accepted that. He's accepted that role, and he's been able to try to show his versatility to helping his team. So you know, I've been watching a lot of college basketball. And Jersey is all over the map, man. And I'm just very proud of these kids, man. You got kids down
Shout out Taj too. Taj out in West Virginia.
You about to get me to go into that, man, because I watched the whole last game and man, he's the same kid he was when he was 15. He's in the perfect system. He plays hard as hell. He's going to give max effort. I'm just proud of that kid, man. I know where he's, you know, the different things that he's battled to get to that position. So to be on one of the, you know, top 20 teams in the country and be a key contributor on that, man, I just want, man, that's love, man. So keep representing.
I mean, and shout out to him too, because he's another kid that didn't play right away.
Right.
Was trying to figure it out. You know, you're a freshman coming in and you're coming from a successful high school career. And you're the man on your team, and then you get to the college level, and you're playing, like you said, for a top 20 team in the country, and you're playing for a well-respected coach, and things don't go your way, but, you know, he could have easily pouted and, you know, gave up or quit, but he just put his head down, continued to work, and it got into a situation where West Virginia was struggling a little bit, and, you know, the coach is like, well, my lineups ain't working. I got to switch them up. I got to go faster, smaller, more athletic, and who better than Taj to come in and play that for you? And like you said, perfect program, perfect style of play of how they play positionless basketball, and you know, and they use their athleticism and speed to create turnovers and just get out and fill the lane, and you know, and be Taj. So big shout out to him, man. And again, like you said, Jersey is well represented throughout college basketball. I too have been just soaking in. I mean, what I really love about this year in total with basketball in general is there's no fans, so that can't sway the game.
Right.
It's who's better that day. you know, because, you know, the way things are set up, I mean, especially at the lower levels, you might travel and play a team twice in 2 days or 3 days. You know what I mean?
Kind of they want to play series with teams.
Right. You bubble it out, but it's who's the better team that day. And there's no momentum switch changes with the fans and none of that. It's just you got to go out and hoop.
No fan Cameron now.
Yeah. You know, I mean, and I was watching that game yesterday, and it's like, yeah, the rivalry isn't the same anymore because there's no there's no spirit fingers, there's none of that, right?
Yeah.
It's just who's the better team, who's more well prepared, who's coming, who's going to execute, who's going to, you know, create less mistakes throughout the game, and who's going to win. It's just simple as that, you know. And there's been a lot of games this year where, and you know, I follow the spread and things like that for sports, and you'll see the spread be 13.5, 15 points, and it's just like when the game happens, the game's close. And it's been a lot of games like that. It's because, you know, the atmosphere isn't there. It's changed. It's come out and hoop. Come out and hoop. You know what I mean? So I'm loving it. I've really been loving it. Some of my top teams that I really like this year, bro. I really like Texas. Shaka has done a great job, especially, you know, he might have been on the chopping block, and COVID saved him, to be honest, because he was going to be out of there. But, you know, no change being made allowed him to really get his team prepared. They are a great defensive team. They got tremendous athleticism, tremendous athletes. And, you know, they're a top 10 team. So I really been enjoying watching them. I really like watching Alabama play. Speaking, you know, we were talking about the Jersey guard, JQ over there, but they're another team that's just gritty.
He out here boogieing on that.
Oh, yeah. He's unguardable one-on-one. Like,
yeah, he one of those.
He one of those. Jersey, stand up. But
he played a lot of 21.
Yeah, it shows too. Because he be getting all types of buckets.
Word.
But just them too. They're a gritty team. They get after it defensively. They got a couple dogs on that team too, man. Like,
sure.
So I really like them. And for me, like, I really like Baylor, bro. I love how Baylor plays. I love how they play together as a team. I love the dog mentality. They get after it on the defensive end. You know, you think you beating somebody, nah, you're going to run into somebody else. You think you beat, and the rotations are on point. So it's been, I mean, college basketball between NBA, between high school, and between college basketball at this point, I'm loving it, man.
Now, check this out, though. There's something that you did not mention that's extremely important right now. We haven't mentioned Duke, we haven't mentioned Kentucky, and we haven't mentioned Kansas, the blue blood teams that we typically mention often traditionally throughout college basketball in the landscape. And I think that this brings up a bigger point. How do you feel about watching those particular teams that really invest a lot of time in freshmen, you know, and what they decide to bring in, and the lack of their ability to assimilate to the college game? Now, is that the kid? Is that the collegiate program, or is that the high school program at which they come from and their lack of ability to prepare these kids to be successful off the rip?
I think it's circumstance. I mean, colleges were dealing with, you know, this pandemic too, so that did shorten a lot of what they could do. So the preparedness wasn't there, you know, going into the season with having such young players, you know. So I kind of feel like that's a big part of why these schools haven't flourished like they normally have. It could also be a combination of players. I mean, it could be, I mean, we had this conversation yesterday or the day before yesterday about how a lot of these high school players now that are coming into school haven't been coached properly in high school. So when they get to the college level, it's an adjustment that needs to be made, and it takes time because they've been the man. They're 6'9", they're 6'6", they're 6'7" athlete that some of these high schools they're playing in, they just can't be, you know, nobody can compete against them. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like the fundamentals of the game that are needed to win aren't there. You know, they're talented. They can go out and get you 25, 30. You know, they could do that. They got all these moves, but when it's time to lock in to win at that level, it's just not happening. And you see this is what teams like Duke are struggling with. Teams like Kentucky are struggling with. You know, it's trying to figure it out on the fly. And it's not – I don't think it's a knock to the coaches, you know, because the coaches at this point, they're trying to learn and figure it out too. You know what I mean? Like, they're in positions they've never been in before. Like,
yeah.
When's the last time Calipari's only won 5 games? You
right.
know, they're 5-11. Like, that's never happened. Like, he's trying to figure it out. Like, how – and what I love about him, he's the same dude on the sideline from what I see. He's still animated. He's still coaching. He's still, you know. So –
I wanted to bring up, though, I think it does have something to do with the lack of preparation from the high school level in terms of preparing these kids. One of the things I really think is important, man, and I've always said this as I've gotten older, I've said you need to understand your role, right? Your role as a high school coach, your role as an AAU coach, right? Your job is to prepare this kid to be successful for the level beyond you. So if all I did was, you know, deal with this kid with soft gloves, right? So, you know, many of these coaches, not all, I ain't gonna say all, but I'm going to say many, and that's a significant amount. Don't hold me to many being a certain number, but I know it's a significant amount of coaches who deal with elite level players, right? You're so worried about the kid transferring that you don't want coaching. So now the tendencies and the bad habits and the different things that the kid hasn't been exposed to in terms of being held accountable for the small stuff, little turnovers that may occur, you know, lack of focus in certain areas, right? Those types of things, attention to detail, not understanding that, like, yo, I got to help and recover or whatever it may be, right? Within that scheme that I need to do. I've seen it too many times at the high school level. These coaches don't hold these players accountable, and that same inability, you know, it really presents itself at the collegiate level. And you see some of these high school players who we look at, especially in Jersey, because I believe that Jersey has top 3 in the country, high school basketball. And you see these players so talented, and it's like, yo, they get these signed. They sign at this school. They sign at that school. And you don't really hear from them they freshman year. And he's like, yo, what's going on, da-da-da. And you're like, hold up. He couldn't get off the bench. Why couldn't he get off the bench? Because the players who are on the court are that much more seasoned, experienced, and understand exactly what their roles are as per what the coach is asking of, right? Well, not even gonna say asking, telling, you know? And I think it takes some time. It takes that shock, right? We've dealt with it. We've had players that have gone to college, come back, yo, coach be wild, and coach be wild. No, coach is holding your ass accountable. There's your high school coach didn't hold you accountable because it was like, yo, you giving me 25 or you giving me 15, 17 points a game and you blocking shots and, you know what I mean, you're one of the best players in the conference, possibly one of the best players in the state. I'm not coaching you as much. See, the problem is high school coaches, I don't believe, understand something that was really something that resonated with me about Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson said, when I started dealing with Michael Jordan, I didn't coach Michael Jordan in terms of the game. I started coaching him between the ears. And when you start realizing that you're dealing with elite level talent, while we could sit here and we could go over X's and O's and your skill set and a punch drag and invert drag and all these different skills that are associated with you being able to be a more complete basketball player, this can't lack, right? So I have to start focusing more on that because many of these kids, believe it or not, they're smart, man. They understand basketball, right? And what we should be doing. Some of these kids out here are little savants. They'll sit there and they'll talk to you about what to do in the pistol and what reads you can make off of this and that and the horn set, why they prefer the horn set, right? So it's not so much that. It's holding them accountable for certain things, making sure that they are giving that absolute effort and attention to detail all the time. And you got to keep your foot on their neck in order for them to really understand that. Because then when they get to the collegiate level, I'm used to coach holding me accountable. I demand that of myself now. So now the college coach is saying, yo, damn, this kid, man, he's great. Got great mentality, accepts accountability for those things and holds himself to a higher standard. You know what I mean? In terms of what they want to exude out there on the floor as a player. And I think that that's extremely important. I think it's overlooked many times when you see these kids go to Division I schools and they're not playing as often is, what was happening at the high school level? What was that coach doing? Was that coach just there for a look? Was that coach just there, with his boys and kind of yo, we got this squad, yo, what up? And they call themselves a coach because now these kids use EYBL and the association to get all the exposure that they need, right? So it's I just think that sometimes when we look at these things, we need to really look at the grand scheme of it and look at it from its root. Sometimes these kids just have not been coached.
Right. Well said. I agree. So, and I think that's what you're seeing at some of these schools right now.
Yeah, for sure. Where we going next, bro? Where we going next?
What we got?
Ooh. I know what it is now. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'll get some sound effects and everything for y'all listeners out there, yo. So
sound effects. We make our own sound effects. Dun, dun, dun.
Coach Nelly making up sound effects. Yes, sir. We want to introduce this new segment on our pod. It's called Buy or Sell. Here in Buy or Sell,
Cha-ching!
We will players from position 1 through 5, point guard through center. We will give you some NBA options and picks, and we will let you guys know who we're buying at each of these positions and who we're selling at these positions. Now, mind you, we're doing this throughout the NBA season. So because of that, some picks may change. Some guys that we may have sold early, we may be buying late, right? But isn't that how you do it on the market as well? So we want to be able to bring these things to you, maybe so you could kind of watch basketball in the NBA from a different type of context now. So we want to be able to provide that for you. So I'm gonna let my brethren go first, and give me your picks, your 5 picks for the point guard, and then give me your buy or sell.
All right, for my point guard position, my 5 picks were John Wall.
Okay.
De'Aaron Fox. Bledsoe.
You guys gonna go Kentucky?
Huh?
You just or you just didn't know this?
I really didn't notice that until you said that, but that is funny. I got Russell Westbrook, and I got CP3.
Okay, so who you buying? Who you selling?
I am going to buy De'Aaron Fox.
Ooh,
I think the step up from last year to this year has been tremendous. I think he's one of the best point guards in the league right now. He has gotten Sacramento to play. They're playing pretty good basketball, a little inconsistent. They still lack a few pieces, but he's been playing at a real high level. I like where he's going. I think they're 1 or 2 pieces away from being back in the conversation.
Gotcha.
How they used to be back in the day. So I'm going to buy my man De'Aaron Fox, and I am going to sell Bledsoe.
Of course.
Just he don't do it for me. Don't do it for me.
Easy.
That's why he doesn't do it for me. I mean, I don't know. To me, he doesn't bring anything to a team. Sometimes I forget he's on the floor. I forget. He doesn't stand out. He doesn't lead to me. He's not that guy that's he's going to go out here and he's going to manage. He's going to, make things happen on the floor. Just think he's just out there.
He's a little, to
be honest,
Easton Galloway.
Right. And I mean, I think the way the game has changed, especially at that position, I think it kind of has phased him out. So get him out of here.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm going to rock with you on that one for sure. So I'll go with my 5. My 5 is Dame Lillard, Luka Doncic. This one's going to surprise y'all. Malcolm Brogdon, Drew Holiday, and CP3. So I'm going to buy CP3. I'm not. That's like how Skip says about Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. Against CP3, man. I'm not against him. So I'm gonna buy CP3, and I'm going to sell Malcolm Brogdon. And here's why I'm going to sell Malcolm Brogdon. And when we do this, I want you guys to understand when we do this, I look at stats. I look at what you're doing, your production, your rate of production. Malcolm Brogdon is in the 50, 40, 90 club. So for anybody out there who doesn't know what the 50, 40, 90 club is, it's 50% from the field goal range, it's 40% from the point range, and it's 90% from the free throw line. I don't believe it's sustainable because he plays in Indiana. So I'm going to say that those numbers out the gate were great, but I don't think that that's sustainable over time. And I definitely don't think going to be able to be the catalyst to continue over the hump. Now, if he pick Oladipo still, then I would say, yo, he got a chance because he got a sidekick who could do some work with him on the scoring end and pick up that load. But I just don't think, I think his shots are going to get much tougher as we start closer towards the tail end of the regular season and into the playoffs. So I'm going to Malcolm Brogdon. Don't be offended. So let's go on the shooting guards, man. Give me your 5.
My 5 are Zach LaVine.
Oh, damn, that's a nice one.
Yeah,
he's been bubbling.
Yeah. I got Paul George.
Okay.
He's playing. D-Book.
Yeah, gotta go there.
Shai Alexander.
You know I bang with SGA.
I know he a problem. I'm just go with 4 because on my list I only did 4. I didn't do 5.
Okay, all right.
But I am going to now. They all have been balling this year, but for me right now, I am going to buy. I'm going to buy Zach LaVine.
Okay.
Can we please get him out of Chicago and can we get him on a team that's a contender, please? Because
send him to Washington with Bradley Beal, bro. Bradley don't want to go nowhere. Send him to Washington. Money. He can play point guard. Bradley can go out and score a gazillion buckets, and that's a formidable backcourt that they're young enough you could build around that.
Right. I like that. I like that a lot. From a guy that 2 years ago tore his ACL and to where he is now, it seemed like he came back and was jumping higher.
You know who? I'm here.
Who?
Manny.
Perez. Oh yeah, yo.
He's the only person.
Shout out to Manny, yo. Only person I know come back from a knee injury and just be jumping even crazier.
I've never seen anybody do that. Tear their ACL and come back and jump higher than they did when they weren't before. It's just crazy. But good, go ahead.
Right. So yeah, I'm buying him and I'm selling PJ.
Okay.
And I know he's been balling. Mm-hmm. I just think out of the 3 guys, the 4 guys that I've mentioned, I think those guys might mean a little bit more to their teams right now.
Got you.
Because they don't have a Kawhi to fall back on the other side. So those are my buy and sell for shooting guards.
Okay.
What you got?
Yo, you have some really good ones. We got a couple overlays, but I got some different ones here. So I'm gonna go Brad Beal.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Jaylen Brown. I'm gonna go SGA, PG-13, and then I got D-Book.
Okay.
I am going to buy Jaylen Brown. I think that Jaylen Brown has taken his game to another level.
Yes.
I think eventually we're going to get to a point where basketball goes back to just guys being able to just play basketball instead of us giving the tag of a two-way player. But we know what he does on the defensive end and what he brings, but he's also coming now with a bag on the offensive end. He don't need people to just set him up no more. He can go and get and I think that's what makes Boston such a dangerous team is you got Jason Tatum. Really, his usage has gone up because he's been playing a lot of point guard. If you put Jaylen Brown in a pick and roll situation, pick and pop situation, that's deadly, man. That's a lot of length, a lot of scoring opportunity. So I'm going to buy Jaylen Brown. I'm going to sell, and you're probably going to get mad at me for this, but whatever. I'm going to sell Bradley Beal. The reason why I'm going to sell Bradley Beal is the same reason why I got sold when it came to conference first team as a sophomore. I scored a lot of points as a sophomore, but we didn't win any games.
You loser.
be writing that column. They like, yo, you getting a whole lot of buckets on a garbage team, shorty. Try next time. You got to win some games. So that's what I'm gonna hold him accountable for at the same. Right. So those numbers look great, but at the same time, I mean, you are the NBA least.
All right.
Small forwards, man.
I have DeRozan.
Okay.
Kawhi.
No question.
JT, Jason Tatum.
Okay.
And Brandon Ingram. BI.
Oh, you know I bang with BI, bro. You know
that.
Right.
God. So for me, right, I am buying Jason Tatum.
Okay.
And for me, Jason Tatum is my favorite player in the NBA right now. He's my favorite player. I love the growth. He has been balling, and I feel like he's unguardable. He can give you baskets at all three levels. How do you want it? He's increased his strength. He's gotten stronger. He will dunk on you, you know, where before he was a little fragile. He ain't fragile no more. So he taking bumps and he'll put you in the rim. I mean, I think he has that Mamba mentality. And you mentioned before, I mean, when you just bought Jaylen Brown, I think them two opposite, they're just, it's unguardable. Like, how do you guard them two? You know, and I think that's what makes them.
Not to cut you off, but there's one thing I want you to add on that too, and I want everybody to pay attention to Jason Tatum. And this is what you got to talk about when you talk about development, right? I made a point talking about usage rate, right? His usage has increased. What does that mean? That means he's facilitating offense. So he's utilizing his ability to have the ball in his hand and the attention that comes with him to facilitate offense. I want to tell you that there's another person that had this same opportunity. Right. And when he had this opportunity, he brought his team to the playoffs 8 straight times. He was averaging 30. And then everybody started saying, yo, he's crazy because he got the beard. Right. So what I'm starting to realize from Jason Tatum is he's on the same arc as James Harden. When James Harden went to Houston, James Harden initially came out scoring the ball, very similar to what Jason Tatum did as a draftee. I'm a scorer. That's what I do. And then he developed into this facilitator of offense, which you see him able to do in Brooklyn, right? He facilitates offense. He's getting 12. I think he has 11 and a half assists a game. So if you look at Jason Tatum and players want to look at the development of players, look at how they've developed these skills that teams now can use as assets for them. He doesn't have to post up. You made an excellent point. You said he can score at all 3 levels. Yes, his isolation game is solid. His post-up game is solid, right? But he can also run a pick and roll. And that becomes very deadly for you because now you got Jaylen Brown, you got guys like Tice rolling to the rim.
Right.
You get those guys easy shots, that's when you become such a big
right.
Because that means you can go
you just mentioned him. I really like Tice. Think he's the perfect role player. He plays his role very well. And he also has the ability to step out and knock down some jump shots, and he plays hard, man. That dude play hard. He one of them dudes that just play hard, and guess who getting hurt? You catch an elbow. He like, oh, I didn't know I hit you. My bad. You know what I mean? So
he didn't over for you. You sitting down.
I'm going to sell. This is a tough one, but I'm gonna sell DeMar DeRozan. And for the simple fact that it's just, you got to win. I mean, I know they're top 8 right now in the West, but it just, you got to win, man. This is the winning factor for me, and it hasn't been consistent. I mean, he's a dynamic player. He out here still banging on dudes. I saw what you posted. I actually saw that right when you posted it. Like, wow, he really threw that joint down. Like, but got to win. Yeah. Gotta win.
So my small forward guys, I got LBJ. You know who that is. I got Jay Tatum. I got Kawhi Leonard. I got Joe Harris, and I have Mikal Bridges. I'm going to side with you, and I'm going to buy Jason Tatum. And I'm going to tell you, I bought Jason Tatum his sophomore year when he was playing Nike EYBL. Okay, so check if we was having this podcast back then, I was the guy back then who was saying, yo, this kid is going to be special. I was one when he was a freshman and I was telling everybody about him at Duke and people were like, yo, he not even playing and this and that. I said, yo, I'm telling you, college basketball is not the right platform for him. They can zone, they can do all of that type of stuff that takes away his opportunity and he has to pass the basketball. Now, when he's where he is now, and I like the way he's flourishing, he's growing. And you know for a fact that I said we needed to pair him with Brandon Ingram and not Lonzo Ball.
Man, can you imagine?
Oh my God, Jason Tatum and Brandon Ingram together, bro, for the next 10, 15 years?
Man, that would have been.
Oh, that's stupid. That is stupid.
You know,
much talent.
LeVar did his job. He got us buying in, and we got the ball, brother.
For sure. So I'm buying him, and I'm gonna sell Mikal Bridges, and it really came down to Joe Harris and Mikal Bridges on this one. The reason why I'm gonna go with Mikal Bridges is again, looking at the stats, he was shooting something like 47%. Oh, not 47, 43% behind the 3-point line at the time that I saw this. I don't think that he'll be able to maintain that throughout the rest of the season. And as it comes to Joe Harris, I've looked at how Joe Harris has he's in that club too, that 50-40-90 club as well. And
yeah, he is.
He does an excellent job of is he's learned now how to play with 3 of the best isolation players to ever play the game. But here's the thing I want everybody to keep in mind. He's been excellent at catching the shit out of nowhere. Like, I'm catching it. It's not playing for me. They're breaking it down, and I'm just able to fill the hole. So when KD kicks to me, it's cash. When Kyrie kicks to me, no matter how compromising that position is, it's cash. So I do think he'll be able to maintain it because he'll get a lot of open shots considering those 3 behemoths that he got playing with him, superstar players. So I'm going to go ahead and sell Mikal Bridges.
All right, for my power forwards, I got Aaron Gordon.
Okay.
Sabonis.
Big fan of him.
Tobias Harris. Zion Williamson. And I'm going to add AD as my 5th.
Okay.
I am going to buy Sabonis.
Okay.
He's been balling this year, like really been balling. And I mean, he's had a couple 2020 games.
Yeah.
I know I really liked him when he was in college. I did not think he would be the NBA player he is today. So I know for me, he has been wow, he's really good, really, really good, really skilled. And I shouldn't have doubted with that name because his pops was was the man. I mean, arguably he was at one time was what they considered the Michael Jordan of European basketball. You know what I mean?
He came to the NBA and became Jokic before Jokic was Jokic. Facts.
So that's who I'm buying. And I am selling I'm gonna sell I'm gonna sell Aaron Gordon.
Yeah,
I mean, what are y'all winning over there? hey, Stan, what y'all doing over there, Stan?
Not there.
Stan, not.
Stan is in New Orleans, bro.
Oh yeah, you are right. Well, anyway,
but that's how that should speak to what you guys have not been.
Nah, I know who's over there. It's Delphi dude. I'm drawing a blank. Clifford.
Good, but what I'm saying is the fact that you don't remember that Stan Van Gundy Detroit Pistons and going to the New Orleans Pelicans and sat out 2 years of NBA coaching. Yo, that should let you know right there, bro. That I ain't do nothing, bro. Y'all bro.
I'm selling you, bro.
Yeah, y'all chilling.
So, Aaron Gordon, you out of here. Peace.
Yo, you wild for that though. So I'm gonna go power forwards. I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm a Lake Show fan, man. I'm gonna go with AD. I agree with you. Sabonis is great. Zion creeps in there. Fastest player, 44 games, 1,000-point score, fastest player in NBA history, next to I want to say LeBron James.
And very efficient.
Layups and dunks. Come on, bro. Jan
No.
Burrow stepping from free throw line to free throw line. Yeah. And then I got somebody who I was so glad we traded him. I was so glad we traded him. Julius Randle. I was so glad we got his ass up out of Los Angeles, boy. But he's on the list.
Man.
Hot. He started off the season hot. He was playing well.
Yeah, that fizzled real quick.
Yeah, well, you know what that is. It's a candle in the sun. So I'm gonna go buy, and I'm just to go off of away from what you did. I'm a buy AD, even though he's been struggling. I know what he's made of. I know what he's capable of. He does have a championship under his belt now. He's hit some big shots on the way to that championship. I think he's just in a slump right now. In terms
he's had back-to-back 30-point games.
Yeah, and I mean, prior to that, he was really struggling before these two.
He's playing like shit.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm going to sell Julius Randle. I never bought you.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, I never. You know, he's a thinner, more athletic Zach Randolph with less of skill set. You know, Zach Randolph knew exactly who he was. He could shoot the three consistently. He can bang in the post. Somebody just on All the Smoke, Kendrick Perkins was talking about Zebo and how big Zebo always used to give him problems and that type of thing. So I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna buy AD. He's a 6'11" guard, and I'm gonna sell Julius Randle. Moving on, centers. Let's get to it. Who you got?
I got Gobert, Ayton,
Mike's,
Embiid,
okay,
and Jokic.
Okay.
I'm buying Jokic.
Yeah, I bet you. That nigga Tesla.
Hey, Elon Musk go to centers right now. He balling, man. I mean, he's got a couple 50-point games this year. I mean, he's got a couple triple doubles. I mean, even from last year, coming into the bubble of how he slimmed down, really focused on his body. I just think he's been playing on another level. So I'm definitely buying Jokic, and I am selling Rudy. Rudy, get out of here.
Rudy is beauty.
Bye. Rudy is beauty. You got to get out of here, Rudy. I mean, I'll give it to you. The Jazz have been playing well, and you are the center of the defense. But get out of here.
Bro, we don't throw the ball to you for nothing. You get videos off putbacks. By default, he did make my list. So I'm gonna go Gobert. I'm gonna go Jokic. I'm gonna go Embiid. And here are two other names you didn't go to. I'm gonna go Bam, and I'm gonna go Ibaka. I am going to if Jokic is Tesla, then Embiid is Amazon. So I'm gonna go with Embiid on the buy. I just think, he under Doc this year. What I've been able to see from him, he's definitely matured. I don't really see the game plan, the jovial nonsense that he would do in games before. He's a load, man. He's not drifting as he does drift to the 3-point line, which I'm still not happy about. But when I have watched, and even Shaq has praised him for his ability to go down to that block and say, you know what, no man in this league can stop me. 1-on-1, you gotta bring the double team, and I may even be scoring through the double team. So I'm really messing with Embiid. I was big on Embiid when he came out of Kansas. I was really kind of iffy with him because of the injuries that resulted within his first year. You know, those lower extremity injuries on big men can be debilitating over time. But his skill set is crazy, bro. Like what he can do. He's a bucket anywhere on the court, pick and pop game solid. You know, he's protecting the paint and protecting the basket. And with Doc in his ass, he's really picked up on the defensive end of being that real catalyst to say hold guys accountable. And I think Ben and him together, I think they've ironed out their differences, so to speak. And I think they're on the same page. And I think that they can ultimately become that 1-2 punch to help them be in the right position in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with him there. I'm going to sell Rudy Booty, man.
Rudy Booty.
Rudy. Nah, man, I agree with Shaq. I agree with Shaq. I'm not telling kids that, what Shaq was saying, but I do agree with him that you can't be out here being defensive player of the year, doing all these different things, and you averaging 11 points a game. You got to give me more than that. And Donovan Mitchell wants you to give him more than that. You go back to the bubble. And Donovan Mitchell was going to tell you, yo, I was giving 50. I was going 45, 50. If you would have gave me 25, we win. Mm-hmm. It's not that, you know what I mean? So I can't go with him. I can't go with him at all. I was. Everybody to watch out for this kid, man. Jersey representative, man. Bam. You got Please watch this kid play, man. He is special.
Yeah, we might be buying him later on.
Yes, sir. You definitely should put that in your portfolio for sure. Mm-hmm. Hold on to that for long term. He is going to be a perennial all-star. He's going to be a force to reckon with. So I'm messing with Bam. Just stay healthy, bro. That'll conclude our buy and sell segment, man. We want y'all to make sure, man, that if you want to challenge any of these things, just hit us up on the DM about those things, and you give us your buy and sell picks. So make sure you stay tuned next week. We're gonna have a whole nother set of buy and sell.
Right on into our next topic. We got our players' point, and we got for today 5 things players need to do in practice.
Take that.
I know my list might be a little bit more than 5, but these are the things that I have that players should do in practice or the approach to practice. Show up early. Show up early. To me, that should be the number one thing that every player needs to understand is that if practice is at 12 o'clock, it doesn't mean that you're running into the gym at 11:50 and you still got to go into the locker room. You still got to get dressed and you plan to be on the court at 12 o'clock. It's not happening. You're not mentally focused. You're not prepared for what's about to happen. And as a coach, I don't got time for you to get mentally prepared, right? I don't got time for you for it all to start to click in, because what happens is, and have coaching the game for a while, it's those players are going to mess a lot of things up for you because they're not ready for the drills, the intensity. You just can't click that intensity level, right? Show up. If you got to get stretched, you should show up anyway to stretch. But if you got to get treatment, if you got to get taped, get there at 11 o'clock. Get all that stuff situated. On top of getting there and getting early, you should have a stretching routine and a warm-up routine that you do yourself, right? That you get yourself prepared outside of what your team does, right? So you're ready to go. In that warm-up routine, it should be you maybe getting some finishes around the basket, right? It could be getting some jump shots in. It could be coming in, working on some foul shots. The routine could change day by day, right? But you should have some type of set routine that you have that just going to get you going and get you, again, ready and focused for practice. Keep in mind that every day in practice, you should always want to be better than the day before. You should always take the mistakes from the previous practice and be willing to work on them to be better the next practice. Because as players, there's going to be something that you have to work on individually that's going to aid the team and help them be better. Every single day, make sure that you come and you're ready to compete, right? This helps your team be better. You can't pick and choose the days that you feel like competing in practice. You can't come into practice and say, today's going to be a good day because it's Saturday and I know we have off on Sunday. What about those days where you're in the grind of the season and you know it's game practice, game practice, game practice, and those days can be long, those weeks can be long, and it's tough mentally on players, but you have to come. And at that point too, you're probably bruised, you're beat up, you got nagging injuries, right? But you have to come to compete and bring it every single day. That's if you want to win. Right? These are things, and these things that we will be giving you guys are for things for winners, right? This is what winners do, okay? And everything that you do in practice, drill-wise, try to be the best. If it's a sprint, try to be first. If you got to make a certain amount of layups or a certain amount of shots, try to have the best record. Try to be the best that you can be in and compete. Again, this adds into the competition aspect of practice. This will help keep and enhance practice. Ask questions during practice. If you don't understand something, say that again.
You're just gonna take all the damn points, ain't you?
You said give you my list.
Like 5, you on like 17, bro. You gave me nothing. Like, damn. Like, good.
No, one.
Like, yo.
Two.
All y'all see this, right? Keep looking down at the paper and come back up here and you gotta do like, golly, give me something, bro.
All right, I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna let my boy take over. My bad, bro. I was into it.
Listen,
I was ready for this.
After Coach Nelly gave us your 10 commandments to practice, he's gonna toss it on over to me now.
Hey, look. When you took a test, and you might not know everything on the test, but when you get to the part that you knew and you studied for, you was ready for that. I was ready, bro. Go ahead, my bad.
All right, man. I'm gonna try to stay away from what he said, but he made some, and I'm just messing with you. You made some excellent points, man. I think that every last one of those things you said are extremely important, and like you said, there was a huge important factor. Don't overlook that. He said we talking about winners. We're not talking about people who just want to come to practice. We're talking about people who want to win. So that's very important. I'm gonna start off by set an intention. You need to always set an intention before practice. You need to be saying to yourself, yo, today I want to focus in. If you're a guy who's starting, who, offensively, that you're going to get shots, you need to make sure that you're getting to those spots and set the intention. I want to make sure when we scrimmage today, when we go over our offense or whatever, that I'm also looking at what are my options besides me just catching and shooting the ball. What else could I be doing? How is the defense playing me? Let me set that intention so I can start making better reads, so I can start understanding where I need to go secondarily, so I can start communicating. Because sometimes you can make a pass to somebody, but your intention is to go somewhere else. You understand? So that's where you can pass to your teammate and say, yo, one more. Because you understand where the defense is going to rotate when you sent the ball to one place versus the other. So always set an intention, man. Yo, I want to be, like he said, first in the drills. I want to make all my free throws. I know Coach is big on. He's been talking about our free throw percentage as a team. I want to focus in on that because I know I might have missed a few free throws. That's extremely important. So set an intention. I'm going to say communicate, compete, and celebrate. Right. So you always want to be communicating with your coaches and with your team, with your teammates. Right. We want to look each other in the eye when we're communicating. We're young men, we're young women. We always want to give each other the respect of looking at that person when we're communicating. So communicate with your teammates. If there's a breakdown, let's talk about that. If before that breakdown occurs, are you talking through the possession? Or are you talking when coach says talk? You should be holding yourself accountable for communicating throughout the duration, right, of that possession, right, especially on the defensive end. But here is something that I always talk about. When you communicate, effective communication is giving directions that cannot be misunderstood. So the terminology that you're using in communicating, you can't just say, yo, look over there. Yo, right there, right there. What is that telling me? That's not effective communication. Effective communication is, Coach Nelly, screen left. Coach Nelly, screen left. Now he understands, he's recognizing not only my name, I recognize somebody's calling my name, but they're also giving me an action. They're letting me know what's ahead of me so I can prepare myself, right? So that's effective communication, right? Now we talk about compete. Compete at every single thing. Don't just compete when coach says whatever color versus whatever color. Oh, now it's time for me to compete. No, you compete throughout the duration of practice. You set that standard of excellence, not just for your team, but for yourself, right? Certain people on your team, you can weed out the losers on your team just by you competing in everything. They're going to say things like, yo, why are you going so hard? Damn, it's just practice, right? Those are the guys who are losers. The winners are saying, yo, we need that energy. I want that from you. Yeah, push me. Even if you're a bench player who's looking to try to get into the rotation, the starters should respect the fact that you're competing. Yo, I got to come to work too. If I'm a starter, I got to work too. I got to compete too. You understand? And if this guy's going to drive me and compete against me, I respect that. right?
Not to cut you off, on the flip side of that, if I'm not a starter, I got to come and work too, right? Don't have the mindset that, well, I ain't getting the minutes, I'm just here to hear. So go ahead.
Yeah. And the last one is celebrate. We want to celebrate those victories throughout practice. When somebody does something, somebody picks a charge up, somebody gets a deflection, somebody scores the ball who doesn't necessarily score the ball. If coach was challenging you guys to say, yo, I want you guys to get a stop, a score, and a stop. If you're able to complete that, let's celebrate that. Let's get that energy. Let's celebrate positive plays. Let's be intention based on making sure that we celebrate the good things that people are doing out there, so that maybe younger players or even older players who are part of that team, seasoned vets, understand that, yo, this is a great thing that I just did. Maybe I'm not a type of kid to put myself in position to take a charge, but you know what? I take a charge and all 4 of my brothers come and pick me up and they like, yeah, that's a great thing. So celebration is great, right? So compete, communicate, celebrate, right? And lastly, I'm going to say, make sure that you're asking in-depth questions. I hate the kids who just ask a question just to ask it. Like, that doesn't make you any smarter. That doesn't make me feel like you're any more engaged. You know, ask me a question that you really want to know the answer to, right? Don't be fearful in asking questions, but we all know what I mean. There is no such thing as a dumb question if you don't know, but there's also those people who ask those questions that are just like, yo, do I lay the ball up with my left hand on this? Like, really? Right. Come on, man. Like, let's talk about real stuff. Like, yo, coach, high ball screen. What do you want me to do? How do I force that ball handler either away from the screen, or what do I do when I get over that screen? There is nothing wrong with asking those questions, because I will tell you this: if you're not asking the questions, right, there is somebody else who's not going to ask that question, and it's going to come right up in the game.
Right.
And that game is not the time to now rectify and talk. Right. So ask those questions during practice time. Make sure that you're sure of yourself. Make sure that your team is sure of yourself as it pertains to strategy. Right. So when coach is going through certain things, listen, there's a stylistic way and philosophy as to how we want to defend. But based upon this team and what this team does, we may have to tweak how we decide to go in our strategy defensively, which means we may have to trap off the ball screen. He's too good. We want to trap, get the ball out of his hands. So if you don't understand that, make sure you're asking that question. Make sure that you know. Make sure your teammates know. Make sure we run through it and we get it down right. And if we don't get it down, ask questions as to why we're not getting it right, so that when we go through our game, we're prepared.
Right.
So those are the 5 from me that I think you can do every single day in practice.
Right.
I'm going to add on 2 more things that
now you want to add on.
I mean, they gave me the commandments, so let me get 7 out here. You know? But so now on a serious tip though, for players, listen, when you're going into practice, games, whatever, this is a moniker that should carry you no matter what you're doing. But you can control 2 things: your attitude and your effort level. Those are 2 things that bare bottom you can control. So you have to make sure that you're in maintenance of those things all the time. Your attitude. Don't be rolling your eyes on the court when things don't go right or go your way. Don't be looking at the ref for foul calls. Don't be, throwing your hands up if your teammate misses a pass. That's a part of your attitude. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when you talk about effort level is not when the ball is rolling somewhere and you just run after it wild as hell and then you wind up going out of bounds, or you try to throw the ball back in. That's not the effort. The effort is my teammate is getting beat. I help with my body, not my hands, and I get back to my guy. That's me giving multiple effort, right? That's me rotating off my man to go take a charge or to stop the ball from being penetrated and close out on balance, close out to the shooter, hand up, chopping those feet. That's the effort we talking about. We talking about that kind of effort. So those are the things that are 2 things that you can absolutely control. So I want to leave out with that.
And I'm going to add one more thing to the commandments.
Yeah. He got to
sprinkle a little bit more on it.
Emerald tablet of a scroll and just all these. Go ahead
though. Stay after and work on your game. And this is the perfect opportunity, and it's a little bit different from coming early to practice. Now is the time, and you can mix this in with asking questions, hey, coach, I need some reps on a certain play, you know, or where I'm going to get my shots in this play. And this is a good time where you could work on things, something that you've gone over in practice that you don't understand. This is the time after you can work on those things. And again, you can always stay after and get up shots, work on free throws, and work on your weaknesses. So I wanted to add that, but everything that we had just said and were given to you guys are all things that are going to help you and help your team be better. And if you do these things consistently, you will consistently see the difference. And you might be a player that's on a team where maybe you do these things and you're the only player that does these things. But if you're consistent with it, and I've witnessed it, you'll be able to grab one or two that start to buy in. Hey, I'll come early with you. Yo, bro, I'll stay after. You want to get some shots up? Like, it'll start to permeate through your team. So just stay consistent with it, work hard, and like you said, you bring that effort and you bring that intensity. Do the things that you can control. And again, this is for winners only.
You heard me.
You heard me. So that brings us to the end of another show.
Hey, I got nothing left for y'all, man. Till next week, man. We gotta go back in the lab and watch some hoops and compile some thoughts for y'all for next week. Thank you guys for watching, listening, being a part of. Real quick, and why don't you show them that sweatshirt, man, you got on there, man?
Yeah, let me take this off so they can see. But I got the hoop chat. I like to introduce the hoop chat to life without basketball sucks.
Yeah.
I want is more than just supporting just because he's my brother, but I love what the brand stands for. I love what he stands for. I'm always going to support anyway, but this is something for me. I got the smooth butters on, you know what I mean? But I had to cop up. I don't know if you can see the back. Can they see the back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can go out and get your own. If you go and you just go to marsbball.com, you could get he has other colors of these. He's got hoodies, he's got sweatshirts, he's got that, he's got hats, he's got pants, socks, whatever you need, man. And again, like we mentioned this before, like don't just buy the brand just to buy the brand. Buy it because you want to support the person and what that person stands for. You already know, man. So go to marsbball.com. Check out what he has. You can any questions about the show when we do our buy or sell portion. If you got players that you want to see on the list of our buy and sell, you could hit us up at Mars Basketball IG. You could send questions there. You could hit them up for training. You could hit him up if you want to anything you want to talk to him about. He's available. And the same with me. You could hit me up at Coach Nelly. And that's it, man. We appreciate y'all. Another good show, bro. Another one in the books. And that's it, man.
Yeah, but you got to say our tag. You got to say our tag before we get out of here, bro.
I got you.
Sam?
As always, you already know, man. In life, make it your duty to inspire at least one person to be great at whatever they choose to do. And we out here. Peace.
We want to welcome everybody to the Hoop Chat. The Hoop Chat. Excited about this topic right here, dog. Let's go. I learned how to win in college. Process, right? Absolutely. Separate the men from the boys. It will separate the real from the fake. It will separate the committed from the uncommitted, who really loves the game and who really don't. Your network equals your net worth. 25 years of experience. Oh, man, yeah, let's get to work. Let's get to work.